Alright, here we are. This is the Iron Oath. This is a game that I kickstarted, or participated in the Kickstarter for. It is a strategy RPG where you manage a guild of mercenaries. Let me know how the audio balance is. Can you hear me over the game, and is the game too quiet or too loud? Huh? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. Company name. Sure. Let's go with something that is entirely for me. First playthrough Iron Man. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've done that, but I think for a stream that is a no-go. Okay. Dawn Company. Alright, that all looks good to me. In an era all but forgotten, the gods once lived alongside humanity in the heart of Caelum. However, an unknown cataclysmic event plunged the world into a dark age. History was lost to time, and so too were the gods. In their absence, a rebuilding humanity was left to contend with the emergence of a great being of darkness from the void. Every few decades, an event called the Scourge, the dragon's arrival, would bring death and disease to the land. Those afflicted by the dragon's blight would lose their minds and bodies as they slowly became abominations of flesh and outcasts to society, known as the Blighted. Despite centuries of effort from the Vanguard Order and the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon could be achieved. Humanity has now come to accept the inevitability of the Scourge as part of life, enduring, or in some cases thriving despite it. With whispers of an impending Scourge circulating, you and your company find yourselves in a burial crypt, not far from the city of Andalon. A simple retrieval of smuggled supplies, or at least that's what your employer had promised. Okay, I need to adjust this camera, I think, for next stream. Yeah, my model is a little all over the place right now. Damned grave robbers! Stay sharp! No doubt his companions will have heard that. Everyone stands still. Tensions rising as they grip their weapons tight and scan for hostiles. You hear the muffled shout from someone in an adjacent corridor, likely directed toward their now deceased associate. The sound of quickening footsteps soon follows, and 3 figures burst through the doorway at the far side of the room. Yeah, it is kind of like that. Shit. Should I go and alert the others? Yorick shakes his head, eyes fixed on the enemy. No time for that. We've no choice but to fight. Okay. Lost to scroll, and I can mouse. Okay. Oh. Okay, my screen just blacked out for a second. Strange. On their turn, each character can move as many hexes as their movement stat allows. By moving onto a green hex, they can still perform an action afterwards. To cover more ground, they can sprint onto the dashed gray hexes, but doing so will end their turn. You can swap places with an ally moving onto their location. Swapping is useful setting up attacks or getting an ally out of harm's way. Holding shift, you can draw a custom movement route. To undo a movement, click the undo button on the toolbar or press the hotkey assigned to it, E. If you take damage or trigger a state hazard, you will be unable to undo your movement. Okay, let's move the Stormcaller to here. If you don't have a desirable action to perform, you can delay the character's turn until the end of the round by hitting wait. Alternately, you can end a character's turn by using the guard action, which provides a temporary bonus to defense and evasion. Click wait. Okay. Characters' abilities have a limited number of charges available, so it's important to play them wisely and use them effectively. Charges can be restored by camping or using certain provisions. With an enemy's advancing on us, we can set a trap using the Pirate Lancer's Return to Cinder ability on the indicated hex. Ouchie. Combat hazards. As you can see, it's important to pay attention to any potential hazards when positioning your units. Some abilities are able to push or pull targets. By forcing targets into obstacles in terrain, you can inflict bonus damage and other harmful effects. Move the pugilist into position and use the crescent wave ability to push the enemy into the pit. Oh. Okay. Every character on the battlefield exerts a zone of control on hexes adjacent to their position. The unit cannot leave this zone without suffering an attack of opportunity from their foe. And this mechanic helps lock down enemies and prevent them from reaching their most vulnerable characters. Preserve stamina. Alright. Each character has a basic attack, which has unlimited uses. While each unique ability is guaranteed to hit their target, basic attacks are subject to an accuracy and evasion check. Perform a basic attack on the enemy by clicking the left mouse button on the indicated hex. Clear view of the archer. Okay. Most attacks and abilities are subject to line of sight check. When targeting, a red line indicates there's no line of sight, while a yellow line indicates a partial line of sight. Large obstacles such as pillars can block the enemy line of sight entirely. When a character has no vision of an enemy, they are unable to directly target them. I'm still pretty tired despite taking like a 3-hour nap. Okay. Smaller obstacles such as barrels, crates, or a character will partially obscure line of sight under the right circumstances. A character who is partially visible will receive 50% less damage from attacks. By taking cover directly behind a small obstacle, you can look over the obstacle and gain full vision of an enemy while remaining only partially visible in return. Stormcaller's conduit ability can devastate a single enemy from range, but takes a few turns to channel. You can see where a channel will finish by looking at the blue indicator. The turn order. Okay. Select conduit ability and select the enemy archer. Okay. With the nearest character or enemy stunned, the Pyrolancer can safely move past their zone of control without incurring an attack of opportunity. Attacks of opportunity can also be avoided by using abilities that incorporate movement or by utilizing the swap action. Let's aid the Guardian and sprint to engage her target. Ouch. Finish him off. Okay. Your pugilist has killed an enemy and gained morale. Morale is displayed on the white bar on each character's portrait. It represents their mood and attitude towards the current mission. Morale is gained and lost through various combat triggers. Landing a killing blow will increase morale, while suffering a critical strike from an enemy will lower it. A character with low morale will take longer to recover from a mission, and will also lose loyalty towards the company. Targets are considered flanked whenever you occupy 2 opposing hexes around their location. All attacks against flanked targets deal extra damage and cannot miss. Let's move the Guardian to the flanking position and attack the enemy. Bandages. Yorick sheathes his weapon, gazing around the room to make sure all are unharmed. Everyone all right then? Gethwin gestures some blood on Yorick's arm. Never mind us, you certainly looked better. Yorick glances down at the injury and scoffs. What, this? He wipes at the blood, making a smeary mess of it. Nothing, time won't heal. I'll be fine. You turn, his familiar voice rings out distantly behind you, though the words are unclear. Is that you, Vaughn? Vaughn dashes into the room, stops, kneeling over to catch his breath. He looks up with a relieved smile. Glad to see you're all still with us. We heard the fighting. Figured you could handle it, but I didn't want to take the chance. And the others? Vaughn points back to the direction he came from. Torn and the rest are still searching. Surely there are better places to stash supplies, but I suppose those smugglers had little choice. At least we're getting paid well to retrieve them. We've been in worse situations. Aye, that we have, boss. Was just hoping my last job would be free of surprises. I can't fault you for wanting out, but I wish you'd reconsider. Vaughn smiles faintly and places a hand on Yorick's shoulder. This life takes a toll, my friend. I've seen more death than any man should. His face goes dark for a brief moment, remembering all the friends you've lost. Your trusted advisor, Alaric, steps out from behind you with hands raised, bringing a halt to the conversation. All right, now. There's plenty of time for talk later. It's going to take a while to scour this place, even with the others' help. Right. I better get back to Torin and the rest before they find themselves lost. Watch your backs. There may be more than those thieves in here, or worse yet. Vaughn looks over his shoulder, nodding in acknowledgement. Let's get moving. Most actions while exploring a dungeon will cost time. The passage of time can have harsh consequences, represented by the time meter on the bottom right. We should begin exploring. Use the left mouse button to move our party onto an adjacent tile. Scouting can be useful to spot enemies, traps, or other surprises that may await you. By scouting an enemy location, you can prevent them from being able to ambush you. It does cost extra time, however, so you should use it sparingly. Right-click on tile, use... okay. When interacting with an exploration event, you'll often have multiple choices available to you, sometimes costing various amounts of time. Your characters will have their own opinion on the choices you make, which will affect their loyalty to the company. Some actions require a stat check, and the character with the highest relevant attribute will be chosen for the task. The character in question will give you feedback to help you gauge your chance of success. If you have any tools with you, they can be consumed to boost the chances of a successful action, or to perform a unique action that otherwise wouldn't be available. You spot a discarded pack up ahead, likely dropped in haste by the grave robbers when you alerted them. Don't expect to find much of value, but it's not likely they'll come back to claim it. Okay, it might belong to someone else, or no sense in leaving it behind for another to find. Take whatever looks useful. Yeah, let's take it. Mikala didn't like that. Health potion and a bandage. Tools. Provisions can be used both in and out of combat while exploring. You can access your provision inventory in the bottom left menu or by pressing the I button. Like other actions, provisions used during explorations will have their own associated time cost. My Pyrolancer Yurik is hurting a bit after that last encounter. We should make use of a potion and restore his health. Consumables, character stats, current contracts. Yep. All right. During the deployment phase, you're able to reposition your party ahead of combat. Click the left mouse button on any character to move them, and click again on any valid hex to confirm their new position. Once you're satisfied with the information, click Start Combat button to proceed. Prison. Alright, that looks good. Oh, that's a pit. Okay. On safeguard. Channel for 12 turns, blind damage. So, just take a swing. Intellect. Electrocute. Oh. Oh. Ow. Okay. Injuries can occur from critical hits or when a character is low on health. If a character sustains an injury, you can use a bandage to stabilize them and to prevent their injuries from worsening. If they continue fighting on an unstabilized injury, the severity can increase. Let's just get rid of you. Enemy passives. Some enemies have passive abilities. These undead skeletons are able to reanimate after being defeated. To prevent them from reanimating, you'll need to target and destroy the pile of bones. All right. Oh. All right. Ow. All right. This wave would knock you back into that. Swap. And smack him up. Okay. Oof. Oh, let's get rid of it. Use item. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the swap is very handy. Lightning. Well, it's only a 50% chance or 50% damage, but not like I have much choice right now. All right, she's the one with the okay. Ow. Rocks are going to fall? Okay. Bandages on her. Okay. Rocks fall. Will everyone die? Not this time. Okay, you got battered pretty bad, so let's heal Grimalt. Oh, I also have a healing ability. I should keep that in mind. I have played some of the demos for this, so I do know that these provisions are basically sold back to a stock after you end an area, so you should probably use what you have to, without worrying too much about keeping a hold of it. Deadly contraptions. You've noticed that the traps here seem more sophisticated than most. Best remind everyone to be careful. Traps deal double damage. As you explore, the application of various time modifiers will present new challenges for you to overcome. With each time modifier applied, your party will slowly become unnerved and suffer small loss of morale. Due to these factors, it's important to be efficient and use your time wisely. You see which modifiers are currently active next to the time meter at the bottom right. You signal a halt as a faint and distant rumbling becomes audible, steadily growing louder and closer with each passing moment. You look up, noticing cracks forming on the ceiling as small rocks break off and fall to the floor around you. Yurik bumps against you and tugs at your arm, urging you to run. It's a cave-in. We need to move. Breaking into stride behind the rest of your party, you steal a glance to see the corridor collapsing in a cascade of falling stone. You cross the threshold into another chamber, diving to the ground as the path behind is quickly closed off by the crumbling structure. A cloud of dirt and dust obscures your vision, but the rumbling and crashing comes to a halt as the last few pieces of debris can be heard tumbling into position. Everyone okay? You look around as the dust settles. Aside from a few coughing fits, everyone seems to be unscathed. What the hell was that? An earthquake? Might have been. Or those grave robbers tried to force their way into some place they shouldn't. Yurik inspects the caved-in passage, lightly kicking at some rubble on the ground. Regardless, we'll have to find another way out. What of the others, and the supplies we're supposed to locate? Yurik places a reassuring hand on Grimald's shoulder. Vaughn and them were on the other side of the crypt. I suspect they're fine. Or at least I hope. Our priority is to find them. Hopefully they'll already retrieve the supplies. We could do with a little luck. Okay. What's this? This way is completely blocked off. We'll need to find another way around. Okay. Your path is blocked by a pile of rubble from the recent cave-in. Yurik steps forward and climbs atop to gauge the severity of the blockage. It's not so bad. I can see clear path ahead. Just need to move enough of this rubble so we can squeeze through. He turns, looking down to address you. Any ideas? Move the rubble by hand, blast a hole with magic, or hand Yurik a shovel. Let's get digging. With an affirming nod, Yurik grasps the shovel and begins to dig, soon clearing a path just wide enough for everyone to fit through. The party crawls through the gap in the rubble and comes out the other side, sliding down the pile and back onto the solid grounds. You see the flickering light from torch being cast into a room from the connecting hall, illuminating more than your surroundings as it nears. Your party forms up, preparing for combat as the flames barrier rounds the corner. Easy now, it's just me. I thought this whole damn place was going to come down right on top of us. The structure groans and rumbles for a moment, and he glances around with some concern. It might yet. Yurik motions back towards the collapse. The whole section is caved in. We'll need to find a way out once we're done here. Once we're done. I figured as much. Torn and the others are already set finding one. I take it you haven't found the supplies yet either. Yurik shakes his head. Unfortunately not. Let's hope they're not buried in stone. Regroup with Torn and the others and secure an exit. On, we'll find you when the job's done. Sure thing, boss. He quickly scans your surroundings, leans in close, his expression turning deadly serious. There's something else. All the commotion has disturbed the dead within these walls. We've already put down a few of the bastards, but you'd best stay alert for more. Thanks for the warning. We'll tread carefully. Oh. Ambushed. By a doggo. And an outlaw marksman. Ow! Oh, I see. Both sides. That's inconvenient. Cleansing conditions. You can dispel negative conditions from your characters with cleansing abilities or by using an antidote item. Not all harmful effects can be cleansed, however, such as injuries or the flanked debuff. The enemy has caught you by surprise and ambushed you. When ambushed, the deployment phase is skipped and your party asks last in the first round of combat. By walking blindly into the enemy, you will always run the risk of being ambushed. You can prevent this by scouting ahead beforehand, which can also result in you ambushing the opponent instead. You have been waylaid by enemies and must defend yourself. Yes. Huh. Oh. The puppy survived. I don't... Oh. Gotta make sure the monk is able to teleport, because otherwise, why would you use a monk? I should have moved him back, actually. Right. Thanks, I guess. Sorry though. Bandages. Okay, that's not the same. Okay. I guess I'll wait. Look, religious devotion leads to teleporting. That's the only conclusion we can truly draw from a monk's abilities. Oof. All right. I'm not sure if there's a carrying capacity or not, if there's any reason you wouldn't want to take everything. Jurek runs their hand along the wall of the interred dead, reading the inscription of each nameplate before moving on to the next. He stops at one, peering closer and double-checking their name, before turning with relief in his voice. This is the one we were told to look for, boss. About time. Let's hope the contents are still intact. Reaching with both arms into the dark recesses, Jurek firmly grabs hold of a coffin, its ancient and rotting wood creaking in protest. He gingerly slides the coffin partway out and pushes the lid aside, rummaging around briefly before pulling out the stats pack with care. Taking a peek inside the coffin to confirm the contents, he walks over to you and hands off the bag. It's all here. No damage to the vials, from what I can tell. What does your employer want with them anyway? Alaric interjects, eager to share his knowledge on the matter. This here is a cure for the blight, or at least it slows the process. The Vanguard keeps it tightly controlled, though only treating those who pledge themselves to their order. As such, it's highly sought after in the block market. And that's why our employer is paying us so well. Okay, mouse over for information. Vanguard's an ancient order that is tasked with defending the mortal realm against all unnatural evils, established during the Dark Age by Tian? Okay. The first king of now dissolved kingdom of Caelum. The Vanguard have garrisons all across Caelum. With their main headquarters situated in the North Hold. At least our efforts haven't been wasted. Let's regroup with Van and hope they've found us an exit. Okay. Oh. Let's heal up a little. Uh-oh. Lost time. Journey seems to have clouded your sense of time. You can't say for certain how long you've been here. One less unit of time required for each revolution on the time meter. Okay. Yes, the crown obviously means treasure. What else could a crown possibly mean? You hear a sudden movement in the darkness ahead, and sound of bones rattling and scraping along the stone. Bright green eyes turn towards you, and the undead being lets out a bone-chilling screech as it shuffles forward into the light of your torches, moving faster than its size and awkward gait would suggest was possible. Guys, I don't think it's treasure. Let's see. The real treasure was the skeletons we met along the way. I couldn't agree more. Right. I was a little hasty with the monk's movement. Ow. Two cells. Okay. Okay, so there's gibbing in this game. Don't really... All right. Oh. Punchy. Go down. Yeah. Yeah, the gibbing can be quite excessive. Mortal Kombat levels, even, from what I've seen in the demos. One would not expect a single person to hold so many torsos, but you know how it is. When a character gains enough experience points, they will level up and receive attribute points and ability points. There are 6 attributes for you to put points into: physique, finesse, toughness, conviction, insight, and mind. Each one contributes differently to your character's combat statistics. Each class specializes in 2 attributes that increase their power. This is denoted by the bronze star next to the attribute. Ability points are used to upgrade or alter the effects of a character's abilities. By leveling up, you'll be able to pick or unlock new abilities for each character. Each class has 6 abilities to unlock, though they can only equip 4 at a time. You are not required to spend your points right now, and you can access the level up screen later in the management menu. All abilities can be viewed, equipped, and upgraded by going to the abilities tab on the character sheet within the management menu. It's true, Mortal Kombat characters must have redundant organs. Well, let's increase the physique and toughness for some more hit points and defense. Wait. Yes. Crescent wave, crippling force. Yes, that's true, pugilist. Although that still doesn't explain the teleportation. Although, I don't know, maybe he's Dempsey rolling for killing blow, first strike on it. Ooh. Dash range, increases dash range with one cell. Potency. Alright, so you get 2 ability points for every level up. And I've always been very fond of this in the demos I've played, so, yeah. Firm. Alright, Stormcaller. Call. Insight and Mind. Conduit, Arc Lightning, Potency. Smart Arc. Let's make him much more potent with this. Ithwin the Novice, Guardian. Defense and morale, critical damage and perception. Defense, let's do that. Yep. Safeguard. Radiant Dawn. I like the sound of that. 2 radiant stacks from the Guardian's passive ability. Increased range. Speed, charge, increased range. Let's increase the range of that. Alright. Big zaps indeed. The party comes to a standstill as muffled shouts and ringing still reverberates down the corridor towards you. Yurik unsheathes his lance, motioning for the rest of you as he breaks into stride, barreling toward the sound of battle. That must be the others. Hurry! Oh. Handled it. It's all me. The last of the undead dealt with, Vaughn hails you across the chamber with a flick of his hand, a relieved smile forming up on his face as he strides closer to meet you. Did you find it then? The exit's just beyond here. Been trying to keep clear of the dead, but they just keep coming. Pile of bones near Torin's feet suddenly begins to rattle, and the eyes of the skull reignite in bright green as the unseen forces attempt to reassemble the skeleton. Torin grunts and steps forward, crushing the skull beneath his heel and grinding it into a fine dust. He looks up with a satisfied grin. Took you long enough. Von here was getting all worked up and thinking the worst. The crypt groans once more, the ground beneath you shaking ever so slightly. I don't expect this structure will hold out much longer, sir. We'd best not linger. Dirk raises his torch high, inspecting the ceiling above as small pebbles break away from it. Good advice, I reckon. We got what we came for, let's not tempt fate. After a mission, you'll want to seek treatment for your injuries your party has incurred. While an injured character can still fight, injury penalties make them less effective. In order to fully recover, you must pay for the treatment in the city's infirmary. Some injuries require prompt treatment, otherwise they'll risk permanent damage or death. Yeah? Gethman came away with torso and leg injury. Not so great, but wraps. Oh, I see. Durability. Provisions sold back. Okay. As the last of the light of the day begins to fade, you spot your company's camp not far ahead. The flickering flames of bonfires dancing against the darkening sky above the horizon. You stroll into camp, the celebration of Von's retirement already well underway. After many hours of swapping stories and sharing drinks, all eyes fall on Von as he steps atop a nearby crate with the drink in hand, raising his voice to pierce through the ruckus. Now, you all know I'm not one for lengthy speeches, but I'd just like to say that it's been an honor to fight alongside each of you over all these years. I dare say that I even consider some of you among my friends. He grins, met by a chorus of laughs and cheers. It hasn't been an easy road, but I've been a fortunate man. Not everyone gets out of the mercenary life on their own terms. I hope you all one day get the same chance. He raises his cup and toast. To you, my friends. There's never been a finer company. Yeah, he might. Who knows? Okay. Here. The crowd responds with bursts of applause and cheers, enthusiastically raising their drinks and sending a shower of ale through the air. Your gaze is met by Van as he points his cup toward you, and you nod your head in friendly acknowledgement before turning about and striding off to find your tent. With the celebration continuing in your absence, you brush aside the flap up to your tent and settle inside, discarding your weaponry and tossing it near your bedroll. You turn to find Alaric in your presence, no doubt eager to discuss business. Hope I'm not disturbing you, sir. I was on my way to pay the horses a visit and prepare us for tomorrow's travel. He gestures to the pack slung over your shoulder, containing the contraband you recently received. It's probably best if I stored those vials in one of our carriages. You gently slide the pack off your shoulder and place it in his upturned hand. Well then, I'd best take care of this. He nods respectfully and turns, pushing aside the tent flap with an outstretched arm and briskly walking out into the night. You turn your attention toward your desk, its surface covered with disorganized papers and maps, illuminated by the faint glow of a candle. Pulling up a stool, you sit down and begin to pore over the maps, charting out tomorrow's course. From outside, the sounds of laughter and poorly played music drifts into your tent. I'm not why, but the poorly played music part just gets me. After some time, with the celebrations audibly winding down, you step outside your tent and into the cool evening air. Vaughn approaches your side, mounted atop a horse. Despite the smile on his face, there's a trace of sadness in his eyes. It's time, then. He leans down and pats the side of his horse. Got my saddle loaded up. Figured I'd sneak out without making a fuss. He rises from his seat and dismounts, turning his face to you with one hand extended. Just wanted to say thanks, boss, for everything. You return the gesture with a smile, gripping his hand and giving it a firm shake. Any chance I can convince you to stay? He steps back and chuckles. If you'd asked that last week, maybe. But this last job cleared my doubts, or any doubts I had. I survived this long. Reckon I'd be a fool to press my luck any further. Fair enough, friend. We'll always have a place for you if you change your mind. You hear a shout and turn to see Yurik stepping towards you, his young nephew in tow. Power move. Slam dunk him and the horse. Sorry to interrupt, he tilts his head, gesturing behind him, but Gedrick here wanted to see you off. Is that so? Vaughn smiles, stepping forward toward the boy and slapping a hand down on his shoulder. I know we haven't finished your training, but your uncle's more capable of finishing the job. More than capable. Poor boy doesn't even get a face. Or we're recruiting from shadows. I know that. He looks up, conveying admiration. I'm going to miss you, though. I, Von grips, reaching out to tussle the boy's hair. And I, you. I've half a mind to send him with you. Less danger on a farm. And God knows your old bones could use the help. Ha! There's a few good years in me yet, but you're both welcome to visit any time. He exhales deeply, stealing a glance towards the road. I'd best get going then. Take care of yourselves, would you? He nods farewell, turning towards his horse and hoisting himself into the saddle. Clicking his heels, the horse trots off, and you watch him disappear into the dark of night, illuminated only by the moonlight above. You and Yurik glance back at the sound of the approaching footsteps to find Torin wedging himself between the two of you, his heavy hands firmly planted on each of your shoulders. Company won't be the same without him, I'm afraid. Indeed it won't. As Yurik and Torin take their leave, you look around the camp, surveying the aftermath of the festivities. Aside from a few inebriated men and women who remain slumped by the fires, it seems most have turned in for the night. With a day's travel yet ahead, you think it wise to follow suit. You bolt upright from your sleep, awakened by the blares of a horn from somewhere in your camp. An alarm being raised, the sounds of a frenzied battle all around you, and you scramble out of your bedroll, taking up a nearby sword. Alaric bursts into your tent, an orange glow briefly visible behind him as a flap is flung aside. Sarah, we're under attack. Winded, he takes a few deep breaths. There was no warning. The horses, the carriages. He raises his hand, trembling with frustration. Everything's being taken. We need to regroup with the others. Have you seen Yurik? Alaric wipes the sweat from his brow, shaking his head. Couldn't find him. With his nephew, I hope. I knew it. You meet Alaric's eyes and nod in agreement. With a firm grip on your sword, you step past him, reaching your other hand towards the tent flap and preparing to step outside. You glance over your shoulder. Let's move. Stay close. You emerge from your tent, head on a swivel as you attempt to survey the situation. The camp is almost entirely ablaze, the heat and smoke stinging your eyes and obscuring your vision. You make your way ahead, your feet suddenly catching on something as you fall forward and scramble to stay upright. Recovering, you steal a glance backwards at the obstruction. One of your companions, dead. An arrow flies by you, narrowly missing but finding a target nonetheless. Alex screams out in pain behind you, legs collapsing underneath him as he falls hard to the ground. You turn back, reaching out a hand to pull him up, but he waves you off. Leave me? I'll be no use to you in a fight. You follow his gaze down his leg, blood-covered arrow stuck through it. Go! You turn and continue forward, or onward, staying low to the ground as you move, eyes scanning for any friendly faces through the smoke. Not 50 yards ahead, you spot 4 of your companions through the blaze, huddled together with weapons drawn against an overwhelming number of assailants. Sucking air into your burning lungs, you urge your legs forward in a desperate attempt to reach them. A figure suddenly appears from the corner of your eye. With a flash of pain, the world goes dark. Whump. Surrounded, Mikal's head whips around, searching frantically for any place to escape as the raiders edge closer. Beyond the ring of enemies, Torin and a few other familiar faces emerge from the darkness with bloody weapons drawn, though they don't seem inclined to make any urgent use of them. What are you waiting for, Torin? Help us! The raiders eye Torin as he confidently steps among them, which, seeming unconcerned by his presence, perhaps even emboldened by it. Sorry, friends. A twisted smirk forms at the corner of his mouth as he slides an arrow from his quiver. We'll make this quick. Airy! Mikhail glances at Torin with wild fear in his eyes, arms trembling as they level their weapon toward him. You damned traitors! Have you no honor? Torin scoffs. Honor achieves little in this world. Glancing sideways at his accomplices, he raises a hand, signaling them to attack. I trust you lot can handle the rest. Spare no one. All right. Ow. Ow. Nothing like being betrayed while you're trying to sleep. Oh, miss. Alright, let's just, let's try to focus on one at a time and call their numbers a little. Those archers are going to prove to be a problem if I don't take care of them. Oh wait, did I click the wrong thing? I think I did. Oh, great. Just syncing audio? Okay. Oof. Ow. Ow. Yeah, my sound is quite bad right now. I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I will just bear with me for a moment, and I will try to sort that out as soon as I can. Closing a couple. Okay. Oh, crap. Okay, I guess maybe, no. Oops. Is it just the game that's choppy, or is it me as well? I'm not entirely sure there, then. Oh. What? Weird. Okay. When a character's health drops to 0 in combat, they will enter a bleed out state and their health value will be replaced by a bleed out pool. The pool is persistent throughout the course of a dungeon. Their bleed out pool will drop to 1 on their turn and from attacks suffered. Permanent death will occur if the pool is depleted. To recover a character from the bleed out state, you can heal them with provisions such as damage or health potion, use a healing ability, or have an ally pick them up by moving onto their location. Yeah, I get the feeling this is probably not a, oof. Ow. Oof. Right. Of course, I don't have any provisions. Okay. I didn't, okay. Ow. It's unfortunate with the music. Quite like the tracks this game has. Ow. What? Ow. Well, that happened fast. I'm pretty sure that fight is winnable. Oh well. Yeah, that was a very quick death spiral at the very end. Opening your eyes, you find yourself sprawled to the ground with a mouthful of dirt, a throbbing ache in your head. Despite the ringing in your ears, you can hear a muffled voice calling out. A hand grips your shoulders and you jerk at the touch, clawing at the ground and scrambling onto your back. Easy now. You exhale with a with a relief at the sight of Yurik leaning over you, the early morning light shining upon his blood-spattered face and garments. He straightens up and grabs, excuse me, and you grab hold of his extended arm, gripping tight as he pulls you upright. Regaining your senses, you look around as the smoking remains at your camp. Anything not taken by the raiders has been taken by the fires. Not much left, is there? The bastards took everything. Closes his eyes, lowering his head and sighing deeply. It was Torin, sir. He betrayed us. Torin? Sure? Yurik nods. Wasn't alone either. Daemon, Inos, Naira. His fingers clenches clench into trembling fists. All fucking traitors. Through the anger, you notice a sadness in his eyes and realize suddenly that his nephew isn't present. Where's Gedrick? Yurik glances down, slowly shaking his head. Don't know for certain, but I fear he's dead, he sighs. I was with him when the attack started, but he ran into trouble. Told the boy to run, but he pauses, staring blankly into the distance as you place a comforting hand on his shoulder. Don't remember much else, I'm afraid. Woke up to Alaric dragging me out from under a pile of bodies. Well, at least he has an excuse for being tardy to the battle. Alaric's alive? Are there any others? Aye, he's alive. Managed to find a place to hide and patch himself up. I told him to stay off his feet. He snorts, waving a hand over the general area behind him, but he's out there limping around, trying to salvage what he can. His bleak smirk fades into a grim expression. Excuse me. There's no one else, I'm afraid. You turn to see Alaric emerging from the half-burned tent, limping your way, a relieved smile forming on his face at the sight of you. Gods, I'm glad to see you, sir. He glances at Yurik. Have you shared the news? I did. Alaric fumbles inside his coat, pulling out a few slightly scorched papers. I found some correspondence in one of their tents. The traitorous bastards have been planning this for months, it seems. Any idea who they were working with? Afraid not. Certainly more than just a ragtag group of thieves. They were well armed and too well organized. Yurik scoffs with disgust, leaning over to spit on the ground. A group of cowards, I say. Easy to achieve victory when half our troops passed out drunk. No doubt Torin and them were counting on that fact. The spineless pricks. Alec furrows his brow, a thought creeping into his mind. I can hardly stomach the notion, but could Vaughn have been involved? Yurik waves a dismissive hand. Not a chance. I know he and Torin got on well enough, but the man's as loyal as they come. I'm just glad he wasn't here for this. We've lost too much already. Regardless of who's involved, there's little we can do about it, at least for now. So what's your plan, boss? I know you know I'll follow you anywhere, but I promised my sister I'd look after Gendrick. Oh, spelling mistake. Okay. If he's somehow alive, I need to find him. And if he's not, well, he pounds his fist into his hand. Us putting up with those traitors into the ground will have to suffice. Mark places a calming hand on Yurik's shoulder. Boss is right. We've little choice in the matter. I understand you want vengeance. So do I. But we haven't the manpower or the means to seek it right now. And doing so would only get us killed. If we're going to do this, we need to first restore our numbers. Then, I promise, we'll hunt those traitors down. You look at each other with renewed purpose, all nodding in agreement. Right then, we'd best travel light. It's a long walk to Andalon. Navigating the overworld. As our caravan travels throughout the world, time will progress. Supplies and general upkeep can be expensive, and every day that passes will cost us coin. In the top right corner are the navigation controls, allowing you to advance to the next day, stop traveling, and adjust the speed of the caravan. Given the situation, we can't afford a long journey. We should make our way to the city of Andalon to rest and regroup. I'm going to chance putting the music back on. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the combat? Still choppy. Okay. I apologize for the choppy music. I will forge on ahead without it. Take 11 days to travel to Andalon. Are you ready to leave? Peaceful. Interesting. After many long days on the road, you and companions breathe a collective sigh of relief upon entering the city limits of Andalon. The streets are bustling with traffic, and though it does seem to be business as usual, you can't help but sense an uneasiness among the people. Yorick seems to pick up on it as well, and with narrowed eyes, he looks up at the sky. Days are growing darker, that's for sure. He gestures to the crowds. No doubt they're all concerned about the Scourge. Can't say I blame them. On the bright side, there'll be no shortage of work for us available to us. But for now, he winces, glimpsing down his injured leg. We could all do well with a few days' rest. Scourge. Scourge is a global event that occurs every few decades, in which the dragon, accompanied by demonic hordes from the void, returns to the mortal realm, attacking cities and inflicting the blight upon its inhabitants. Yeah, that is very XCOM-like to just murder your tutorial party. Alaric begins to shuffle forward, gesturing ahead with a nod. I believe the inn is this way. With the morning sun shining into your room at the inn, you rise from your bed, pleased to find your body finally free of its many aches. Gathering your belongings, you walk down the creaking stairs to the ground floor, spotting your companions already seated at a table and breaking their fast. That's true, but it does save on the writing, doesn't it? Morning, sir. You're looking a sight better. Huh? Come. He gestures to the seat beside him with one hand, taking up a spoonful of porridge with the other. Sit. Eat. Across the table, Alaric tears off a piece of bread and hands it to you. We were discussing our next. Alaric trails off as a man approaches the table. Your previous employer, Caldwin, sporting a puzzled look upon his face. I must say, I'm surprised to see you here. I heard about the battle, heard you were dead, in fact. He slides in the seat opposite of you, spreading his arms wide. Yet, here you are. Heard it from who? Your associate. He looks up, trying to recall the name. Torin, that was it. Tall bastard, he was. Said your entire company was killed in an ambush. And he was lucky to be alive. Anyway, he brought me the vials, so we concluded our business and he went on his way. You just believed his story? Truth be told, no. I could tell he was hiding something, but I wasn't about to refuse the man. I suspect he could rip me apart with his bare hands, were he so inclined. Was there anyone else with him? A boy of 15 years? The man scratches his chin. He had a few companions from what I saw. None that young, however. Any idea where they were headed? I don't know that either, I'm afraid. It would seem that they were going their separate ways. Alec raises an eye at the piece of information. Retiring, perhaps? They certainly can afford it, having stolen everything from us. So they betrayed you and stole your fortune, did they? I'm sorry for that. Perhaps we can help each other out. You have a job for us? More of an arrangement. Caldwin leans in closer, placing an elbow on the table. I've been looking to expand my business across Caelum, but the roads are a dangerous place, as you well know, and I'm in need of a permanent guard. In return, I would offer you a discount on all my wares, potions, elixirs, and the like. I'm sure they'd be of great use to you in your line of work. To be clear, I would not interfere with your operations of the company. Of that, you can be sure. In fact, I care not where we travel, just so long as there are buyers for me to sell to. He leans back, spreading his hands across the table. So, what do you think? Sounds like a fair proposal. I accept your offer. Caldwin smacks a hand down on the table. Excellent. Then consider me at your service, my friends. And as I said, where we go is entirely up to you. Alaric lifts his hand, a single finger raised. There is one problem, however. We simply cannot afford to travel anywhere at the moment, not to mention we're without carriages and horses. You certainly had a rough go of it, huh? He waves a hand. No matter, I can supply both horses and carriages. As for funds, I hear the local vanguard have their hands full at the moment. I suspect you might find some work with them. He leans close, lowering his voice. Just don't mention my other activities. They would be none too pleased to learn of the vials in my possession. Thanks for the tip. We'll go to see them. Baldwin rises from the seat, straightening out his tunic. I have preparations to make, then. He looks at each of you. Excuse me. Nodding farewell. I'll await you at the gates. Taking a bite from your bread, you look on as Caldwin strides out the inn. Alaric turns towards you, fingers rubbing at his chin. You know, Sarah, I was thinking it might be wise to retire the company name. As long as these traitors think us dead, we'll have an easier time rebuilding our numbers, and when we're ready to strike back back against them, it will be with enough, excuse me. It will be us with the upper hand. York grunts in approval as he swallows the last of his drink. He's right, I reckon. Best not to draw extra attention on ourselves. If we can help it. Any ideas for a name, boss? Dawn Company always had a nice ring to it, I thought. Convenient and quick. Dawn Company, eh? He pauses, flashing a toothy grin. I believe that will suit us well. When visiting a city, you can view available contracts by clicking one of the contract banners at the top of the screen. The icon on the banner tells you what faction is offering the contract, and completing it will increase your reputation with them. We're hardly in a position to be picky right now. I say we take whatever job the Vanguard have to offer us. Pick up some work at the local Vanguard representative. All right. Even from a distance, you can tell there's a sense of urgency brewing within the Vanguard garrison. As you near, a pair of hard-eyed guards order you to halt, their weapons held up to impede you. Behind them, a man in a decorative suit of armor, no doubt an officer, takes note of your arrival and with a wave of his hand orders the two guards to stand down. At ease, soldiers. Let him through. He bids you to approach, his eyes fixed on yours. My apologies, things are rather tense here, as you can tell. He regards the rest of your companions, looking them up and down. Is there anything you need? Heard you could use a hand? An understatement, but you've heard correctly. I'm sure you've noticed the days growing darker of late. They say the Scourge is coming, and in truth, it has already begun. We've been receiving increasing reports of void spawn in the area, and we're scrambling to respond to each Any help you can provide is most welcome, and you will be rewarded, of course. Scourge. Void spawn. Creatures of the void, such as demons and spirits, are referred to as void spawn. What do you need us to do? A group of refugees is fleeing from a small village just south of us. I dispatched a unit to aid them, but the number of void spawn that was reported, I fear their presence won't be enough. I would ask you to travel south, link up with them, and ensure the refugees arrive safely. He turns to an aide, snapping his fingers and holding out his hand. The aide rummages through their satchel, producing a few papers, which are promptly handed over. The officer briefly glances down at the documents before offering them to you. These will point you in the right direction. Good luck. He extends a fan. I am stumbling over my words so much. I've no doubt you are suited to the task. You can count on us. Accept the contract. The officer nods and turns away, striding off to deal with another matter. Alaric steps towards you, peering over your shoulder at the report held in your hands. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us, sir. Before we depart, might I suggest hiring some fresh recruits at the inn? I'm sure there are more than a few capable mercenaries available. Place in. Every city has an inn, which allows you to rest, buy drinks, or recruit new members. Resting will reduce your entire roster's fatigue by 3 for each night purchased. Buying a round for the company will increase their loyalty for a time, though drinking too frequently can result in adverse effects. If you are in need of new members for your roster, you can scour the local talent and recruit them to your company. Recruiting. This is a list of available recruits in the city. As time passes, new recruits will appear. You can view information on each recruit by clicking the icon on the left of their portrait. Okay. Power and Hakinai. Right. Pugilist. Power Lancer. How much do we have? 800? $50 signing bonus. Just grab them all up. Okay. The Lazy Dog Inn. Use current roster. Fatigued. Okay. There we go. Okay. Weapon, default weapon. Speed and evasion. Let's keep the evasion such up. Place. Suppose there's probably rest for the fatigue. 6? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Out on the road with some even daring to make raids on the city itself. Try to slow down as a result, and the costs have risen. Makes sense. All right. All right, let's just take a look at this map. Wife. Shot. Animated corpses appearing in the area. Void breach? That sounds bad. But I suppose the place is called Graveswood, so... Alright. 13 days travel. After days spent on the road with no sign of the refugees, you begin to lose hope of ever finding them. Glancing sideways at you, Cassin observes the look and concern on your face. So long as they've stuck to the road, we should be finding them soon. They frown into the distance, one way or another. Up ahead, a figure suddenly emerges through a patch of trees just off the beaten path. They barrel towards you, frantically waving their arms to gain your attention as more of them begin to appear behind them. You urge your horse forward, riding out to meet them. Please, help us! Their hand points to the patch of trees from which they came. Our caravan's under attack! You glance in the direction, faint sounds of combat barely audible over the panic screams of the refugees. Are the vanguard with you? They are, but they're outnumbered. Seldrick rides up to your side. Narrowed eyes looking out towards the battle. We should hurry. You twist in your seat, signaling the rest of your companions follow as you charge ahead, past the crowd of refugees and into the fray. So locate and assist the vanguard. You arrive just in time to render aid. Cassin and Seldrick grapple a demon away from one of the soldiers, cutting it down in the process. The remaining demons are felled in short order. As one of the vanguard soldiers tries to wrench their spear free of a demon's skull, another acknowledges your arrival. Removing his helmet and tucking under his side, he marches across the bloodied grass towards you, a weary grimace on his face. What a shame. You probably should have kept the helmet on. I take it you've been sent to help? He glances down at the demonic abominations, dark blood oozing from their hacked-up bodies. There will be more of them, of that I'm sure. An officer from Andalon hired us to assist you. That's a relief. He exhales slowly, shaking his head. We were too few to begin with, truth be told. It's a miracle we haven't lost anyone yet. Still, with your help, all these folk might just make it. The man turns at the muffled shout in the distance. Floating across the field toward you, across from you, another vanguard soldier crests a hill, weapon raised in a frantic sprint as he draws near. He comes up to an abrupt halt just shy of your position, addressing the man in charge and pointing back with the tip of his spear. Sir, more demons, fast approaching. Shit. He turns to you as he refits his helmet. You there, go with the refugees. We'll hold off for these bastards as long as we can. We'll protect them. Good luck. The soldier nods and slams his visor down. He whips around, drawing his spear and barking orders at his unit, preparing them to face the enemy, and likely their own deaths. Protect the refugees and flee. Lowering his spyglass, Alaric mumbles something under his breath as he frowns at the distant horizon. He turns to you with a slight shake of his head, a troubled look on his face. They're still following, sir. More of them, in fact. At the rate they're gaining, I suspect they'll be all over us by nightfall. He digs around in his satchel and produces a map, unfurling it and carefully tracing a finger along the canvas. There's a cave system not far from here that will take us closer to Andalon and hopefully provide shelter from these demons. The cave? I'd rather stay above ground than get trapped underneath it. We've no guarantee of safety down there. It's not ideal, but it's a risk we'll have to take. Seldrick turns away, grumbling inaudibly as they tromp off. Appearing beside you, Cassin places a reassuring hand on your shoulder and puffs out a sigh. Can't please everyone, sir, but I reckon it's the right choice. We've no idea what awaits us down in these caves, it's true, but we know damn well the danger we face up here. Continue. Assembling your party, you can assemble up to 4 characters when forming a party. It is important to consider the status of each. Well-rested, extra power, extra experience available, fatigued, less power, morale, experience, injured, and okay. Okay. Provisions. Before entering, you'll be able to purchase provisions you bring with you. By default, unused provisions at the end of a dungeon are refunded for 50% of their cost. The amount can be increased with company upgrades. Oh. Yeah, okay. Let's just get a good spread. Yeah, I really like the combination of gameplay mechanics in this. Standing alongside the cave's entrance, you motion to weary refugees as they file past you, encouraging them to quicken their pace. With everyone inside, you look back to the plains one last time, frowning at the approaching void spawn, now clearly visible to the naked eye. As you enter the depths, a shriek at the front of the column causes a commotion. You rush your way through the crowd to see a mutilated animal slumped on the ground. Seldrick, already down on their knees and examining the wounds. They turn up to you, scratching their brow with puzzled expression. Could have been demons, but can't say for certain. They point a series of deep lacerations on the creature's body. Not the work of any human, anyway. Regardless, we're obviously not alone down here. Tread carefully, then. Oh, right away. Flair, Prison Ghoul, Null Beast Disruptor. Okay. Pugilist. Okay. Oh. Ability. Yeah. Right. Zap. Ouchie. Oh. Some wave. Yeah, let's do that and get rid of you. And miss. Well, that's unfortunate. Ow. Lead. You seem like the biggest threat. Chi. And zap. Okay. Dolby's Tooth. Sold. Okay. Demon's Blood. That seems like a great idea to bring along. Health Potion. And a Pitchfork. Alright, that was unequipable. Alright, eating is no longer occurring, so... Oops. There we are. Alright. Pitchfork. Lone satchel catches your eye on the ground. Though small, it doesn't appear empty and may contain something of worth. Sure. Let's grab that. Bandages. Alright, nothing worth my time in that direction. Organization. As the mission drags on, you find it difficult to maintain proper discipline and formation. Deployment phase is now skipped in combat, and your troops begin scattered across the field. Oh. Well. All right. Let's just keep us topped off for now, I guess. Ugh. Oof. Okay. That's going to get me hit quite a bit, I think. Ow. Let's do that and keep rid of you. Nothing personnel, kid. Yes. Okay. Oh. Targets. Missing speed. Okay. Nice. Ow. Didn't exactly want to walk through the fire, but I guess it didn't really matter in the end. Scrap, teeth, and more blood. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Everyone's eyes grow heavy from the journeys. You should rest soon. Next time you camp, everyone will be forced to rest with no lookout. Oh, okay. Slumped up against the base of the wall, you find the bloodied body of a man, not long deceased by all appearances. He seems to possess little value, but closer inspection may reveal otherwise. Let's go ahead and more for the, yeah. As you continue through the dark passages, Alaric strolls alongside you, taking a glance back at the rest of the column before leading close. A lot of tired souls back there, sir. I think it would be wise if we found a place to make camp for the night. We don't want anyone collapsing on us. Our own crew, least of all. Consider it. Thank you. During longer missions, you can make camp in order to rest your party and apply various bonuses. Camping does not cost time, strange, and instead resets its meter to 0. Some locations are safer than others. We should pick a spot that has fewer points of entry to lessen the chances of being set upon by enemies. Oh, I actually didn't mean to stop and rest there, but once you've established your campsite, you can select various incenses to burn that provide healing and other unique benefits. You only have a limited number of incense points available, so choose carefully. More incense can be unlocked in the Company Upgrades tab within the Management menu. To decrease the chance of your camp being interrupted, you can place up to 2 party members on lookout. No, I can't. Each lookout will decrease the interrupt chance by half. Keep in mind that characters who are on lookout will not benefit from the secondary effect of incenses. Once you're satisfied with your choices, you can begin camping button to proceed. Let's see. HP recovery. Yeah, let's just go straight HP recovery for that. Wait, more than one? Mind, morale, and wounds. I don't think I have any open wounds right now. All right, let's just do that. All right. Whoop. Temptress. It's not very tempting. Anguished. All right. Oof. What are you even doing down there? Zappy. Stop making me bleed my own blood. Okay. Seems like his health bar bugs out a little bit. Well then. Maybe I should. He would benefit from some music. The only problem is when I play my own music, it also bugs out. I'm not sure what exactly is going on there. I'm pretty sure you're just going to pop. Well, I guess I can smack you. Oh, alright. Early levels for these characters. I will message you directly with the code if you win. If you're not able to stay for the whole stream, so don't worry about it. You'll still get your key, your code, your copy, so on. Physique and mind. Oh, points. Dance. Potency. Potency and cannot heal. That seems useful. Toughness, mind. Conduit. Do I want to unlock conduit? Arc lightning. Arc lightning. List. This. Locked. All right. Force. Yeah. See. Try putting the sound on again. Doubt it's going to go any better, but maybe if I put it low volume, it won't be as annoying if it is. Oh, what's going on there? I wonder, actually. Maybe if I... Huh. One second, please. Okay, The path forward is impeded by a wall of dirt, bones, and stone rubble from the crypt's crumbling foundation. The depth of the blockage appears to be extensive, but there does seem to be a way through, provided you can reach the top. Might take some time, but I reckon there's enough materials around here to fashion a makeshift ramp. Build a ramp from the rubble, use tool. Let's use a tool. Taking a coil of rope from your pack, Caelum is able to loop it around something stable at the top of the pile, allowing your crew to quickly climb up and over to continue on their way. Oh. Misplaced provisions. You're not sure when or how it happened, but you seem to have misplaced a few items from your pack. I lost an antidote. Up. You round a corner to find a young man slumped against the wall, barely conscious, with blood pooling from a wound in his gut. He looks at you through pained eyes. Thank the gods. I was beginning to think no one would find me. He glances down, hand clenching his wound. I was attacked by some beast, and only just managed to get away, though not quickly enough. Yurik steps beside you, whispering in your ear. That wound looks bad, and I say we help him. Potion. We'll see to your wound, escort you to safety. The rest. Shame we didn't arrive to save you. Sorry. All right. We'll see to the wound. A real shame. Okay, and at this point I have to ask if anyone else is interested in entering the drawing for a free copy. So far there's only one person, so... Relief washes over the man's face and looks up as if to thank the gods. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to give away 3 copies of this, so... that sucks. I hope the game's localized and released over that way. Let's see. Bless you, friends. I can hardly thank you enough, but I hope these items I've found will suffice. Receive tools. Okay. Gain 5 with this 5 reputation with the citizens of Andalon. I'll be on my way then. I'll make sure the folks in town hear this. Alright. Well, sadly I don't have anything to heal with before the fight. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Though I am actually in the server for this game as part of the kickstarting bonuses. And I do believe there was talk of localizing it, but I don't know when or if that will happen. Okay, you are in a bad position. So let's try to get rid of... Oh. Let's get rid of you outright. Okay. Swipe. Okay. Get rid of you. Still up, unfortunately. Oh. Not great. Those misses were really doing a number on me. Torso injury. Oh, a bruised groin. Lovely. You had that. You did. Let's go ahead and bandage that right now. Get you out of the way. Up. Oh, more bandages at least. Traps deal double damage. Lovely. You notice a stone block on the ground that doesn't match the surroundings. It looks out of place and doesn't belong. Upon further examination, it seems to be some sort of trap. Some rube really thought they'd get away with this weak nonsense. Okay. Let's disarm it. As amusing as that second response is. Disable the mechanism. Nope. Actually, can I camp again? Nope. Oh, this might be rough. Do I have anything at all? Store a small amount of health. I better save it for this. Okay. Alaric fumbles with the map beside you, trying to make out the details by torchlight. I do believe we're nearing the exit, sir. On the other side, Terran's arm suddenly juts out in front, his hand held out to stop you. The other pointing ahead. You see that? A dark figure looms ahead of you, its features obscured by the darkness, but its nature is nonetheless clear. Terran lowers his arm, reaching instead for his weapon and setting his feet. That is no ordinary demon. Good luck. Spectral Soul Piercer. Okay. Let's wait here. At least I'm not surrounded by them. Let's try doing things this way. Oh. Oh. That was quick. Get you out of here. Hey, no touch. Yeah. It's not looking too good right now. Oh. Oh. That's less than good. Okay. Oh. Wait. Did he act on his own? Taunt. Yes, he was taunted. Oh. Let's see if I can manage to limp across this. Bad things happened. Okay, well, he's going to pop, looks like. I'm not... Well, victory, I guess. Enemy reinforcements. You lingered longer than you should have, giving your foes a chance to bolster their numbers. Remaining combat encounters will have additional enemies added to them. A faint ray of light can be seen up ahead, motivating everyone to quicken their pace ever so slightly. You pause as you round the next corner. Your eyes adjust to the dim light cast from the surface. The refugees behind you all breathe a collective sigh of relief, though you're all well aware that the journey is not over yet. Beside you, Caelum clamps down on your shoulder with excitement. Never has gray skies brought so much relief. They drop their hands, shuffling past you with the crowd. To Andalin, then. Just a moment. No, let's get out of here. That's unfortunate. This is much more than I had die on me in the demos. Unfortunate. But they were just starting out, so. You emerge from the cavern, a few of the refugees hesitantly approaching you to offer you their nervous gratitudes. You give them a faint smile before shifting your focus to the outstretched plains before you, glancing sideways at Alaric, who is doing the same. You've done well, sir. Against all odds. Andalin is still a few days out, but I suspect the worst is behind us. He claps an arm around your shoulders as you begin to walk forward. Let's collect that reward, shall we? Let's go. The distinct thunder of galloping horses fills the air. A group of riders fast approaching from just up the road before bearing the Vanguard sigil. You recognize the lead rider as he pulls up nearby, dismounts his horse, and walks towards you with purpose. There you are, with all the void spawn crawling about these parts. I was beginning to fear the worst. He looks behind you with narrowing eyes, surveying your company. What of my men? All dead, I fear, though we can't be certain. They fought valiantly, bought us time to get away. Okay. I see. He glances down, heaving out a long sigh. It never gets easier, sending soldiers to their deaths. But you've kept these people safe, so at least some good came of their sacrifice. Come, we'll accompany you to Andalon and get your payments sorted. There's another matter we could use your help with, but we'll discuss that later. You return to your caravan and set off once again towards Andalon, following closely behind the contingent of Vanguard soldiers. Things are likely to get worse soon enough, but for now, everyone in the company is grateful for a moment's rest. Ducking your head through a guarded doorway, you step forward to find the officer leaning over a table, his eyes carefully scanning a map in front of him. He takes notice of your arrival, raising his hands signify he'll be with you in a moment. He turns to a nearby soldier, issuing some orders that you can't quite overhear, and presses some papers into his hands. The soldier nods and salutes in return and makes to leave, sliding past you on the way out. The officer regards you with a welcoming gesture. Please, come. We have much to discuss. He takes a seat behind the table and bids you to take one opposite him. You look a sight better than when I last saw you. You're all well rested, I hope? We still have a need of your talents. When you're feeling ready, this damn Scourge is just beginning, after all. He turns and signals to his assistant, who places a chest of coins down on the table with a rattle. But first, there's a matter of your payment. He places a hand on the chest. You've done a great deed for us, and many have you to thank for their lives. What was it you agreed upon then? 550? I believe that was the price, yes. Very good. He slides a chest over to your side of the table. To the next matter at hand, he gestures towards the table map, topped with finely crafted wood pieces representing both friendly and unfriendly forces. We recently made aware of nearby void breach, and the party I had dispatched in response is yet to report back. Our forces are already stretched thin, trying to stifle the void spawn presence in the area. So I was wondering if we might employ your services once again, assuming you're ready. We're here to help. What do you need? I had hoped as much. Reports indicate that the void breach is located here. His finger points on the map. Thankfully, it is underground and somewhat secluded, but until it can be closed, it remains a danger nonetheless. The Scourge has thrown more than enough demons and wraiths our way already. He motions to his assistant, who approaches the table and carefully hands him a pouch. the contents of which you are cannot ascertain. A little gift, courtesy of our allies within the circle. Once you've located the breach, toss this in and it should destabilize. The magic in here is enough, my understanding, is beyond... The magic in here is beyond my understanding, but I've been assured it will do the job. He hands over a pouch with a delicate, if not slightly nervous touch. The contents are highly volatile, so take great care in handling it. As for other dangers, the disappearance of my men suggests that the place will be crawling with void spawn, especially as you near the breach itself. I know we're asking a lot of you, but our backs are up against it here. Rest assured, you will be well paid if you can manage to pull it off. Void breach? I'm no expert on the matters, but try to imagine as a gateway between our world and the void. Demons and wraiths are always looking for a way in, and this allows them the easiest access. Until it can be closed, the void spawn are like water from a leaking dam. What do you know of the Scourge? The first Scourge was well over a century ago, and it's been recurring every decade since. We still don't know why. What I can tell you is the worst of it is yet to come. Demons and wraiths are one matter, but when that unholy dragon tears through the blackened sky and descends upon your cities, our cities, well, I pray we're all nowhere near. We won't let you down. Glad to hear it. He raises from his seat and extends his hand to finalize your arrangement. One last thing. I know you're short on numbers, so it may serve you to visit the inn before departing. In my experience, there's always one or two capable-looking folks sitting around waiting for an excuse to fight. He flashes a wry smile. Only half kidding. Just thought I'd mention it. When you complete a contract, you'll be rewarded with both renown and reputation. Renown is a measure of your overall fame within the world. As your renown grows, you will be trusted with more difficult contracts and gain access to better recruits. Additionally, you will gain renown points, which you can spend on company upgrades. Your reputation measures your relationship with each noble house and city in the world. When you complete a contract to make certain... Every time I try to stream. When you complete a contract to make certain choices, your reputation will change accordingly. Having high reputation can lead to lower prices on services and wares, and unlock additional contract types. Acquired another renown point, sir. We should look into some upgrades for the company. Oh, small crate of fish. Lovely. Tents. Increase the roster. Reduce salary costs. Increase loyalty. Increase travel speed. These can't be gotten yet. Expeditions, satchel size, discount on provisions, alchemy. Oh, these are for the... Okay. I do really like the idea of upgrading your company itself. Okay. Let's carry more provisions, I think. It seems like it would be useful. Yeah. Recruit. Zella. I suppose we should probably fill up the entire rank, so Just in case, you know. Though I think that means we have like 3 pyromancers. No. Oh well. Let's rest. Available for active duty. Still, let's rest. Day's rest. Marketplace. Wait, do we have any, Ah. $5 days. Oh, okay. Uh, I'll leave that all for now, and still resting. Her sword. All right. Save and leave the city. Close the void breach. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't have to wait for him in town for that. Okay. All right. Select provisions. A bit of everything and an extra health potion. Okay, time is it? 10:30? I think one last dungeon and then I'll call it for the night. Oh, right, I ambushed them, so I could have got free attacks out of this. I'd still rather wait for them to come to me, though. Yeah. Okay. Aegis. Ow. persuaded. That's just a bad plan, so yeah, that'll work. Oh. Miss. How do you miss that? All adjacent enemies. Okay. Let's that bleed is there we go. That works. Let's heal you up. And you. Casson holds up his hand and freezes. Eyes raised on a crumbling ceiling, which looks ready to give way at any moment. They glance back at you for direction. No, let's just move quickly. Your party dashes ahead, trying to run clear of harm's way as large chunks of debris begin falling around you. The crashing ceases and the dust settles. You glance around and it seems everyone has fortunately escaped harm. Continue. Enemy preparations. Your foes are now well aware of your presence and have prepared accordingly. Increased chance of ambush in remaining encounters by 10%. Oh. Nope, no ambush here. At least not for them. I've ambushed the enemy. Red Knight, Flare. Did an opening volley on you. Right target, power and movement. Just That's strange. Oh. Okay, I will add you to the wheel. Oh. Thanks for joining my stream, by the way. So right now that is 3 people on the wheel. This is the last... Just a reminder that this is the last dungeon for the night, so if anyone else wants to get on the wheel before the end of the night, let me know. I will add your name. Okay, get rid of you. Eesh. Get up. Silence the native abilities inside the hex. Okay. Ah. Ow. Ow. Flanked and goodbye. All right. It is a lucky thing that bandages heal or wrap all injuries. Lost time. It's another fight ahead. Ambushed the enemy. All right then, let's swarm her. Range on that is a single space. All right. Walk into the fire. That's fine by me. Ow. This fight's going much better. Although, oh no, taunted. Yeah. That's less than ideal. Only the self? Okay. Oof. At least she survived. That was a little rough. Burn potency. Yeah, they were taunted, so they were not able to move away. Yo. Just in charge of that. More toughness. It's critical damage and perception. It's creature perception. Accuracy and conviction. Cells. Morale. More power. Sure. Let's do it that way. And pugilist. Potency, disarm. Alright. Physique and... Okay. Strange. Okay. This is an expansive cave system. Hunger. Okay. Every action costs 20 will make loyalty. Great. Until they make camp. Alright, I think I should force camp then. So, they're all stabilized wounds, so don't need that. Battle hardened and vitality. Oh, I can pick two. That is bad. But... okay. You jolt awake. Okay. Gotta be certain, simply part of the dream. You sit upright and glance at the campfire and not a little more than embers. You... okay. Look around the camp. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. A dream then, or perhaps just the rustling of a small creature. Okay. Oh, I'll probably be ambushed then. I was not. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh. Alright then. Let's move right into the thick of it, I guess. Oh. Wailing. Ouchie. Them low accuracies. Fly. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, that's the end of you. Things up. You out of the way. Splat. Mysterious light flickers erratically up ahead, accompanied by the sound of an unnatural humming that can only be described as evil in nature. You approach the breach, a whirling vortex of dark energies, and peer into its center, wondering what lies at the other side and resisting the sudden urge to find out. Caston looks on with marvel. Have you ever seen such a thing? It's almost beautiful in a way. Terrifying, more like. Tilda sticks out an arm, preventing Caelum from inching forward for a closer look. Let's not forget why we came here. Caston shakes his head as if snapped out from a trance. Right. The breach seems to be grow in intensity. Unseen forces pushing you all back like wind from a hurricane. It surges on. From the center of the swirling mass, shadowy figures begin to take shape and pour outward. Caelum steadies themselves and unsheathes their weapon, shouting out with warning. Demons! Spectral Reaper. That would seem to be the boss. Yeah, it seems to have a symbol next to its name. Okay. No, don't do that. Right. Of course it teleports. Ow. See if maybe killing this one in the fight. Chilling blades. Smack. Stylish. Oh. It didn't end the fight. Miss. Okay. And you're alone, so you should... Yeah, okay. Oops. Pull you up a little. And hopefully that's the end of the cave system. Oof. Once again, I am sorry for the crusty audio. The journey seems to have clouded your sense of time. You can't say for certain how long you've been here. One last unit of time required for each revolution on the time meter. With the demon slain, everyone quickly turns their attention back to the breach itself, fearing the arrival of additional monsters from the void. Hurry now, we won't survive another attack. Close the breach. You throw the pouch into the void's breach, or the void breach's center, and it disappears from view. Everyone takes a cautious step back as blinding light begins to emanate from within, forcing you to shield your eyes. After a sudden whoosh, you peer above the raised arm to see the breach destabilizing and blinking from existence. Wasn't sure that would work. Yorick strolls over to you, smirking and placing a firm hand atop your shoulder. The circle's full of surprises, it seems. We should report back immediately. Yeah, let's do that. Area cleared. Very good, then. Right, let's head back. Peering up to the darkened sky, you spot a flock of birds flying with haste across your view. Their black wings barely visible against the backdrop. Cason strolls up beside you and matches your gaze. Hard to believe it's morning. It is morning, right? Can't tell of late with sky being so damn dark. Just then, a thunderous boom draws everyone's attention. Bring your caravan to a swift halt. You fixate your eyes on the sound's direction. Not sure what you're expecting to see, but staring intently nonetheless. The sky darkens further, now black as night, and a few people begin fumbling around trying to locate the light and light up their torches. What in the... A terrifying, otherworldly roar is heard in the distance, and moments later a dragon of indescribable size drips through the sky's very fabric and into full view. Dark energy scattering all around it. With wings flapping as it twists through the air, it descends towards the ground with alarming speed, skirting across the land in a direction opposite yours, much to everyone's relief. That is a sizable dragon. We should press on towards Andalin and consider ourselves lucky that it chose not to attack this region. There will be more void spawn in the dragon's wake, however, and the vanguard may require further assistance. Lucky indeed. Okay. going to turn this in and then save. And that will be it for tonight. You move with purpose through the city of Andalon, ignoring the rush of panicked, wide-eyed citizens moving all about. You near the Vanguard garrison and observe the officer hurriedly delivering the last of his orders to nearby soldiers. He dismisses them and walks through their scattering ranks towards you. Your mission was a success, I gather. I could use some good news. The breach is closed. Well, that's one less worry for us then. I'm grateful, truly. Tell me, was there any sign of the party I sent beforehand? We couldn't find them. Better than some alternatives, I suppose. Perhaps they will turn up yet. He bids you to follow him inside and closes the door behind you, only partially blocking out the noisy streets of the city beyond. Were you out there when the dragon arrived? He shudders. Caused a downright panic here in the city, people trampling all over each other in the darkness, scrambling to get to the underground shelters. All for naught in this case. He pauses, exhaling sharply. Never get used to it. Thankfully, it appears to have set its sights elsewhere. We've already more than enough to contend with here, as it stands. There's more to be done. We're ready. He leans over his desk, his brow furrowing. There is indeed. He nods towards the table and map. A horde of void spawn are approaching the city, and it will be here within a matter of days. Unfortunately, much of our forces are occupied elsewhere and cannot be recalled in time. He steps back from the table, straightening up his gaze on you. The city guard will, of course, be getting involved, but I would not say no to extra help. As I said, we're ready. Accept the contract. I'm glad to hear it, and of course, before I forget, he raises a hand, beckoning his assistant, who approaches with a sack full of coins. Here's your payment for your previous job, with more yet to come, should we survive this ordeal. He steps out from behind his desk, an arm placed on your back as he shows you to the door. We're preparing our defenses just outside the city. Meet me there when you're ready, but don't take too long. We don't have much time before those bastards are upon us. Company upgrades. Eesh. Stone. Spice. Satchel size. Okay. Bookkeeping. Team building. Horse training. Team building. Infirmary. Compound. Jeez. Okay. Jason, you stay here. 55 days. Ugh. Swollen jaw, dislocated shoulder. Treated on. Alright, in that case, I'm also going to need to get some new troops. Stormcaller. We'll just take everybody. Clodomir Darkvest. Good Cook. Alice Brickman. Oh, okay. That's fine. No fatigue? Okay. And buy a round, I guess. I will save it here. All right. That was the Iron Oath. I will try to continue recording this in the future. I'll give a notice when I do that. But in the meantime,